Right, the scary things about closing a limited company, okay? This is for directors out there in the UK whose businesses have become insolvent, or you're thinking they may become insolvent at some stage. And when that happens, there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of scary consequences, certainly in your heads. You know, you're probably having sleepless nights at the moment. You might be struggling to pay bills personally as well as in the business. You know, weekends are overwhelm, anxiety. So I want to share with you what I found when I had to close my limited company, because I've been where you're at right now. And the things that I found really scary was, first of all, the financial implications of actually closing a company, of actually becoming insolvent in my business. Now, for those that don't know, insolvency means you can't pay your debts when they fall due. You've probably got arrears to HMRC, you might have arrears to suppliers, you might have arrears to your landlord, banks, bounce back loans, C-bills loans. And the worry that I had of thinking, I'm actually not going to be able to pay some of these people, even though it's a limited company, it will gnaw away at your head, because some people in a liquidation, in fact, most people, they're not going to get the money that the business owes them. And another thing that used to really worry me was the financial implications for me personally, because my business is where I make my money. What happens if my business is no longer there? You know, am I going to have to get a job? If I get a job, am I going to be able to earn the money that I'm used to earning in my business? So that was another real scary thing for me. How am I going to survive after this business is closed down? So I think it's important to have a plan. You know, what is it you're going to do? Are you going to go into employment again? Or are you going to resurrect this business in a new limited company, in a new guise? Are you going to do something totally different? Another thing I found really scary was actually telling the staff that there was no more job. You know, that was something I really toiled with. In fact, I kept it going a little bit longer than was necessary, because I didn't want to have that uncomfortable conversation with my staff. In actual fact, I had this delusion of positivity. It was all going to hell in a handbasket. But I would have told you things were about to turn round. And the crazy thing was, I actually always thought that, because we're taught to be positive, aren't we? A lot of my message is, you know, you've got to be realistic as well. See things as they are, not worse than they are, but as they are. And yeah, we're worried about telling the staff. And you know what? Looking back, they've all found new jobs. I don't think any of them have got any trauma attached to being let go when my business was insolvent. Another thing that worried me and scared me is, well, what will happen if I don't pay suppliers? You know, that was a big worry, because a lot of years, if you go into liquidation, that there are going to be suppliers that don't get paid. And these could be suppliers that you've worked with for years, suppliers that you walk down the street and bump into. So what I found was, and what I've seen over a number of years doing this is, okay, a lot of suppliers will be insured, but a lot of suppliers, if you've been a good client for a number of years, they really don't hold any malice to you. You know, it's like, I've done a job recently, they've been going for years and years and years, and they actually did a pre-packed liquidation, and some suppliers sadly didn't get paid. And the vast majority of these suppliers went to the director of the company. Listen, we understand you've hit hard times. They'd had like 20 years of great trade with him. Started to supply his new company. But yeah, it's a worry what'll happen if suppliers don't get paid. Sadly, businesses don't get paid in insolvency. You won't be the first and you won't be the last. And I was dead scared about my reputation, you know, that pride and ego. It's like, oh God, I'm a failure. Everyone's going to be talking about me. No one was talking about me. Like literally, nobody remembers it, bar me now, you know. But at the time I'm thinking, God, everybody is talking about me right now. And I heard somebody say, like, you know, when when you're in your 20s or when you're in your 30s, you think everyone's talking about you. When you're in your 40s, you don't give a hoot who's talking about you. And when you're in your 60s, you realise no one was ever talking about you anyway. Really, people have got their own shit going on, especially right now. You know, the country is in such a bad state. The economy, you know, we're now officially in a recession. So these are just some of the things that scared me. And what the worst thing was telling my loved ones that the business was closing. That was traumatic for me. But you know what? You will get through this. There is light on the other side. What you've got to do, or what I should have done earlier than I did, is seek advice early. You know, if your business is starting to hit the skids, you're struggling to pay suppliers on time, sales have slowed down, costs are remaining high, take some advice early. We offer free and independent advice at Director First. I hope you found the video useful. Thanks.